Appreciate the introduction. We're excited to be here and be part of this event. I'm also joined by our Chief Technology Officer, Paul Barnhill. He has been in this space for over 30 years, and he's going to help me out with us talking about, our capabilities. So what we're going to talk about is a term that we use around here at Meritech called 12 seconds to clean. And 12 seconds to clean is focused around our automated hand wash stations that provide a hand wash in only 12 seconds. Also, our footwear enhancements. And during this presentation, we're also going to talk about our effectiveness against Salmonella, with that being the topic of the event. So at Meritech, we do produce many different products, but as I mentioned today, we're going to talk about the CleanTech automated hand washing stations and the footwear enhancements. So when we talk about the automated hand wash stations, as I mentioned, we provide the perfect hand wash in only 12 seconds. We have over 50 clinical studies to validate the efficacy of the hand washing our systems provide. Why is this a big topic now? We've been hearing recently from a lot of our customers that there are issues with high turnover with production staff, and also some headwinds and some challenging with staffing alone. And that boils into training. How effective are we able to train a staff that's turning over? And what will CleanTech do in that type of situation? Well, it takes the training out and provides a standardized, perfect hand wash to every user that uses the piece of equipment. And then in addition to the hand washing stations, we also have footwear enhancements. And what really sets these footwear enhancements apart is we provide 12 seconds of contact time to the footwear while you're washing your hands. So this goes back to the term we were talking about, 12 seconds to clean. So in 12 seconds, the user has the ability to achieve two critical hygiene events in just that 12 seconds of time. And when it comes to the footwear enhancements, we do have two options that are suitable for really any type of environment. So we have our boot dip option, and that's the one on the left, and that is designed for a wet facility. In addition to the boot dip option, we also have what we call our sole clean. The sole clean is designed for semi-dry or dry facilities because it uses an alcohol-based chemical. And that's very high level on the equipment. I'm going to turn it over to Paul to talk about the efficacy of this equipment.
Thank you, Will. So one of the things when we first started going down this path of trying to figure out how could we actually do true testing on footwear worn by a person applying a true pathogen, well, what we did is we actually took an adaptation of an ASTM E1174 standard, and we really applied that to footwear. What we did is we applied the pathogen directly to the footwear. We then sampled it to just kind of get our baseline of exactly what that is. Then we went through the process, reapplied that pathogen again, go ahead and then subject it to the use within the systems, both within the sole clean and the boot dip, so using it in two different methodologies. And then we did a post-sampling of that to kind of show you where the results are that we're at. So when we did that testing with the wetted boot dip system against Salmonella, we're showing a 99.8% removal within that 12-second time frame for that. And on the sole clean system, again, that's an alcohol quat blend chemical that evaporates quickly. Within that 12 seconds of being exposed to that on the footwear, we're showing a 99.99% kill of that pathogen.
Paul, thanks for talking about the efficacy. So here at Meritech, we have been doing this for over 35 years. We're located in Golden, Colorado. All of our equipment is manufactured here in the U.S. in Colorado. But in addition to the team we have based here, we also have a team of technicians strategically placed around the U.S. to support our customers. When it comes to our approach as a company, we don't just manufacture automated hygiene equipment. We partner with our customers. We help provide the right recommendations for what CleanTech systems would work best in their facilities. We also do a lot with hygiene zone consultation and providing very efficient hygiene zone recommendations for every one of our customers. So we're going to end the PowerPoint. I'm sure everybody gets enough PowerPoint nowadays. We're actually going to do a live demonstration of the equipment.
Station is automatically going to turn on and start that hand washing process. and getting that clean within that 12 seconds. That whole time, he's actually standing in a wetted foot bath that is maintained at 800 to 1,000 parts per million of a quad product, which is at the recommended USDA and FDA levels for footwear sanitation. So within that 12 seconds, we accomplished 2 tasks. We washed his hands and we sanitized his footwear.
Thanks, Paul. Why don't you tell me about what happened during those 12 seconds? Let's start with my hands.
Excellent. So when your hands first go into the system, there's actually 40 nozzles in there, 20 on each hand. There's 8 around the wrist and 8 in a helical pattern, and then 4 dedicated directly to your fingertips and at your fingernails. And then when the system first turns on, it gives you a quick 2-second rinse of the water. Then it washes with the sanitizing solution for the next 6 seconds. And then in the final 6 seconds of that, it really gives you that potable water rinse so that you're getting that full removal of any of the pathogens, any of the debris, soils that would have been on the skin to begin with. Same time, you're sanitizing your footwear. And on that footwear system, again, it's at 800 to 1,000 parts per million of quad. It's constantly repriming itself with every user. So it's staying clear and at the right concentration level for every person as they come into it. As well as the pan has some technology built into the back end to help filter out debris and soils so that it stays in a certain area in the pan.
That's awesome. So every single user gets clean chemical.
Absolutely. We're refreshing that all the time. And the system is easy to reprime. So when you have that end of day cleaning, you can kind of go through that process, disconnect it, reprime it back up and get it back up to speed, usually within, 30 seconds to a minute.
Awesome. So when we compare that to like a foot bath in a food plant, what is that filled at the beginning of a shift in the morning? And how often is it emptied out?
It's anybody's guess. It depends on what happens at the moment of the day.
Yeah.
Those are really challenging. And the biggest challenge with that, as you mentioned earlier, is you only have a short amount of contact time.
Right.
Certain pathogens need a little longer contact time to be able to for these sanitizers to be effective. Yep. This is giving us that opportunity to capture them for that 12 seconds and really allow that sanitizer to do its job.
That's a great point, Paul. And, with our 35 years of experience, being in and out of food plants, we do keep a close eye at footwear options that are out there. And we really look at contact time. I see a door foamer, when I see a foot bath or even dry quad pellets, I look and see how much contact time is in there. A lot of times I see a second, half a second. Sometimes I see 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
Yeah.
So you've sanitized one piece of footwear, but not both of them. So appreciate that, Paul. Real quick, before we get into Q&A, let's talk about the Sole Clean, the other footwear enhancement option we have.
Fantastic. So the Sole Clean works in a very similar process. What we're doing is we're actually applying that, again, blend chemical, which is alcohol quad, combination chemical, which is ready to use directly onto basically what is like a foam mat. Okay. And what that foam mat does is it absorbs it, allows it to kind of let that alcohol quad spread out, slows that evaporation of that product down. When you step on it, it actually is just saturated enough that it's dampening the soles of your footwear to where you're getting that contact with that sanitizer directly on that sole. Again, it reprimes itself depending on a couple things, number of people that go through it, also the amount of time, so that we're being effective all the time. And so that's the beauty of that. And again, that product there showing a 4-log reduction of Salmonella.
That's awesome. And once again, that product is designed for semi-dry and dry facilities.
Right.
And that concludes our presentation.